English tea.
From Speaking English with Class. Hey everyone, welcome back to English Tea. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. And guys, before we even start today's episode, I gotta say, Mia told me this story yesterday, and I was like, no way that actually happened.
It happened. It totally happened. And honestly, I'm still kind of processing it because the whole thing was so awkward.
Okay, so set the scene for us. Where were you and what was going on?
All right, so last Tuesday I was in New York for work and I decided to treat myself to dinner at this Italian place in Manhattan. You know, one of those places that looks fancy but not too fancy, like the lighting is dim, there's candles on the table, and the menu doesn't have prices next to some items, which is always a red flag.
Oh, I know exactly the type. Those are the places where you're afraid to look at the bill at the end.
Right, exactly. So I'm sitting there and I order this pasta dish and a glass of wine, and honestly, the service was fine. Nothing special. The waiter came by maybe 3 times, refilled my water once, and that's it.
Standard.
Exactly, just standard. So the meal ends, I'm feeling good and full and ready to head back to my hotel, and then the bill comes, and this is where it gets interesting.
Here we go.
I look at the bill, and at the bottom, there's already a line that says gratuity, 18%, already added.
Wait, already added to the bill?
Already on there. So I'm thinking, okay, that's the tip done. I don't need to calculate anything, I just pay the total.
That makes sense to me.
Right? So I put my card down and sign the receipt. And here's the thing, the receipt had 2 lines. One that said gratuity, already filled in with 18%, and then another line that said additional tip.
Oh no, I see where this is going.
And I left that line blank because in my mind, I already tipped. It's right there on the bill.
Okay.
So I'm getting ready to leave, putting on my coat, and the waiter comes back to the table and he's got this look on his face. And he goes, "Excuse me, was there something wrong with the service tonight?"
Oh man, that's so uncomfortable.
And I'm like, "No, everything was fine. Why?" And he just kind of gestures to the receipt and goes, "I just noticed you didn't leave a tip."
But you did.
That's what I said. I pointed to the bill and I was like, "It says 18% gratuity right here." And he goes, "Yeah, that's the service charge. That goes to the restaurant. The tip is separate."
What? How is that even legal?
I know, right? So now I'm standing there, coat half on, completely confused, and he's standing there waiting, and there's this awkward silence that felt like forever.
What did you do?
I honestly didn't know what to do, so I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I thought the gratuity was the tip." And he just kind of shook his head and walked away like I had personally insulted him.
That's so uncomfortable and honestly kind of manipulative on the restaurant's part.
It was. I felt terrible, but also annoyed because, how was I supposed to know that gratuity and tip are different things?
Right, and this is the thing about American tipping culture that makes absolutely no sense to anyone, including Americans. Like, I grew up here, I've lived in the US my whole life, and I still get confused sometimes.
Really? You get confused too?
Yeah, because the rules keep changing. Like when I was a kid, my parents always told me 15% is standard.
Right, I've heard that.
Then it became 18%, then 20%, and now I'm seeing some places where the suggested tip starts at 22%.
I've seen 25% on some of those iPad screens.
It's insane. And the worst part is it's not even consistent across different types of places. Like, okay, let me ask you this. Coffee shop, do you tip?
Depends.
See, that's the problem. It depends on what exactly.
Well, if I'm just getting a regular drip coffee, I usually throw whatever coins I have in the tip jar. But if I'm ordering a complicated drink with oat milk and an extra shot and vanilla, then I'll tip $1 or 2.
But why though? They're just doing their job either way.
I know, it doesn't make sense, but there's this weird guilt thing.
The guilt.
Oh my God, yes, the tip guilt is so real.
And you know what makes it worse? Those iPad payment screens.
Oh, don't even get me started on those.
No, we have to talk about this because this is a huge part of the problem. So you go to like a casual place, maybe a sandwich shop, right? You order at the counter, they make your sandwich, you pick it up yourself.
Right, there's no table service.
Exactly. And then when you go to pay, they turn the iPad around and there's three buttons, 18%, 22%, 25%.
And they're standing there watching you decide.
Watching you and you can feel their eyes on you.
And there's usually a custom button too, but you have to actively click it and type in a lower amount.
While they watch you be cheap.
While they watch you publicly declare that you're cheap.
It's psychological warfare.
It really is. So you're literally tipping on tax?
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Completely ridiculous.
Okay, so let's actually break this down for our listeners, because I think a lot of people are as confused as we are. Let's talk about when you actually need to tip in America.
Okay, so restaurants with table service definitely tip. That's non-negotiable.
And how much?
Used to be 15% was standard, but now it's more like 18 to 20%.
And that's if the service is good.
Right, but here's the thing. Even if the service is bad, most Americans will still tip at least 15%.
Why would you tip for bad service?
Because servers in America get paid really low base wages, like sometimes as low as $2 or $3 an hour.
That's insane.
It is insane. They rely on tips to actually make minimum wage.
So you're essentially subsidizing their salary because the restaurant won't pay them properly?
Exactly, and that's why the whole system is messed up.
Okay, so restaurants, 18 to 20%. What about bars?
Bars, I usually do $1 per drink.
Per drink?
Yeah, or if I'm opening a tab, I'll tip 20% at the end.
What about coffee shops?
Coffee shops are tricky. Like I said, it depends.
But you feel pressure to tip.
Always, even if I'm just buying a bottle of water.
That's crazy.
I know, but the jar is sitting there, or the iPad is asking.
Okay, what about food delivery?
Oh, definitely tip for delivery.
How much?
At least 15%, but I usually do more if the weather is bad or if I live far away.
That makes sense, because those drivers are using their own car, paying for their own gas.
Exactly, and dealing with traffic and finding parking.
What about Uber or Lyft?
I usually tip 15 to 20%, unless the driver was really rude or unsafe.
Have you ever not tipped an Uber driver?
Once.
What happened?
He was on his phone the entire time, like FaceTiming someone.
While driving?
While driving, on the highway.
Okay, no, that's fair.
But I felt bad even then.
The guilt follows you everywhere.
It really does.
Okay, so now let's get into the actual English phrases you need to know, because this is supposed to be an English learning podcast.
Right, we got a little sidetracked there.
Just a bit, but it was necessary context. So first phrase, and this is one I should have used at that restaurant.
Oh, here we go.
Does that include tip?
Perfect. That's exactly what you should have asked.
Or you can say, does that include gratuity?
Right. Gratuity is just a fancier word for tip. They mean the same thing.
So if you see a service charge on your bill, you can ask, does that include tip, or is gratuity included?
And this is so important because some restaurants do automatically add gratuity, especially for large groups.
Right. If you have 6 or more people, they'll often add 18 or 20% automatically.
So always check your bill carefully before adding more tip.
Always.
Okay, next phrase.
Keep the change.
This is a classic.
But when do you actually use this?
Good question. So you use this when you're paying with cash and you want the server or driver to keep the extra money as a tip.
For example,
Let's say your bill is $43 and you give them a $50 bill.
okay,
You can say, keep the change, and they'll keep the $7 as their tip.
But what if the change isn't enough for a good tip?
Then don't say it.
Right, because if your bill is $48 and you give them $50, that's only $2.
Which is a pretty bad tip.
So in that case, you'd wait for your change and then leave a proper tip on the table.
Or you could give them a bigger bill.
True.
Okay, what about can we split the bill?
Oh, this is super important.
So, can we split the bill means you want to divide the total cost between multiple people.
Right.
But there are different ways to split it.
Okay, explain.
So, you can split it evenly, where everyone pays the same amount regardless of what they.
That makes sense.
And here's a pro tip.
I'm listening.
If you want separate checks, tell your server at the beginning of the meal, not at the end.
Why?
Because it's way easier for them to keep track from the start rather than trying to divide everything at the end.
Good to know.
Okay, let's talk about some other useful payment phrases.
Yes.
What about "I'll get this"?
Oh, that's when you're offering to pay for everyone.
Right, like if you're out with friends and you want to treat them.
You can say, I'll get this, or this one's on me.
Exactly. Those both mean you're paying.
What if someone tries to pay and you want to split it?
You can say, no, let's split it, or let me get my half.
Right.
Or if you want to pay for your own stuff specifically, you can say, I'll just pay for mine.
Okay, what about asking for the bill?
Oh, this is important because you don't want to say it wrong.
Right, so in America, we say, can I get the check?
Check, not bill.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I mean bill works too, but check is way more common in American English.
What about in other English-speaking countries?
In the UK, they say bill, and in Australia, they also say bill.
Interesting.
So if you're in America, say check.
Can I get the check?
You can also say, can we get the check when you're ready?
That's polite, because you're not rushing them.
Exactly. And sometimes servers will ask, anything else I can get for you? And that's your cue to say, just the check, please.
Perfect.
Okay, what about credit card phrases?
Oh yeah, like, do you take credit cards?
Right, most places do now, but some small places are cash only.
So it's good to ask, especially at food trucks or small cafes.
You can say, do you accept cards? Or can I pay with card?
Both work.
And if they say cash only, you can ask, is there an ATM nearby?
Perfect.
Okay, what about when the payment machine asks you questions?
Oh, this confuses so many people.
Right, because the machine will ask things like debit or credit.
What's the difference?
Debit comes directly from your checking account, and credit is charged to your credit card.
Okay.
But here's the weird thing. Even if you're using a debit card, you can choose to run it as credit.
Why would you do that?
Sometimes you don't want to enter your PIN, or sometimes running it as credit gives you better fraud protection.
Interesting.
But usually it doesn't matter that much.
Okay.
The machine might also ask cash back.
What does that mean?
It means, do you want to withdraw extra cash from your debit card?
Oh.
Like you could say, yes, $20, and they'll give you $20 cash and add it to your total.
So your total would be your bill plus 20?
Exactly.
That's actually convenient. It saves you a trip to the ATM.
It does.
Okay, what about tipping on the card machine?
Right, so this is where those iPad screens come in that we talked about earlier.
The guilt screens?
Yes, the screen will usually show you 3 options, like 18%, 22%, 25%, and then a custom option.
What if you want to tip less?
You'd have to click Custom and type in your amount,
While they watch?
while they watch you decide to be cheap.
The pressure is real.
It really is.
What if you want to leave no tip?
There's usually a no tip button, but you have to click it in front of them.
That takes courage.
It really does.
Have you ever clicked no tip?
Only once.
When?
At a place where I literally just bought a bottle of water from a cooler, like I grabbed it myself, there was zero service.
That's fair.
But I still felt weird about it.
The guilt follows you.
Always.
Okay, let's talk about some awkward payment situations, because these happen all the time.
Oh boy, here we go.
So, situation 1, you're out with friends, everyone's splitting the bill, but one person didn't bring their wallet.
Classic situation.
What do you say?
Well, if you're the person without the wallet, you'd say something like, "I'm so sorry, I forgot my wallet. Can I Venmo you?"
Venmo?
It's a payment app.
Right, so you're offering to pay them back digitally.
Exactly, and other payment apps are Zelle, Cash App, and PayPal.
Got it.
And if you're the friend covering for them, you might say, "Don't worry about it, just get me next time," or "Yeah, just Venmo me later."
That's pretty casual.
It is.
Okay, situation 2. You're on a date and the check comes.
Oh boy, here we go.
Who pays?
This is so complicated because it depends on so many factors, like who asked who out, what generation you're from, your personal beliefs about gender roles.
So, what do you actually do?
Honestly, I think the safest move is to reach for your wallet regardless of your gender,
Okay.
and then see what the other person does.
So, you might say, "Let me get this," and they might say, "No, let's split it," or "I got it."
Exactly. And then you can offer again, like, "Are you sure?" And if they insist, then you let them, but offer to get the next one.
You could say, "Okay, but I'm getting it next time."
Perfect. Or let me at least get the tip.
That's a good compromise.
Yeah.
Okay, situation 3, you get bad service, like really bad.
Ugh.
Do you still tip?
This is tough because on one hand, you want to acknowledge bad service, but on the other hand, the server might be having a bad day, or might be new, or the kitchen might be backed up and it's not their fault.
So what do you do?
I usually still tip, but maybe 10 to 15% instead of 20%.
So you're tipping lower.
Right. It shows you weren't happy, but you're not stiffing them.
What does stiffing mean?
Leaving no tip at all.
Got it.
And if the service was truly unacceptable, like the server was rude or they never came to check on you, then you might want to talk to a manager.
How do you ask for that?
You can say, "Can I speak with the manager, please?"
And then?
Explain what happened, calmly. Don't yell, just state the facts.
Right.
And they might comp your meal.
Comp means...
Give it to you for free, or they might give you a discount.
That's good to know.
Okay, situation 4. You realize after leaving that you tipped wrong, like too much or too little.
What do you do?
If you tipped too much, like way too much, I'd probably just let it go.
Really?
Yeah, because going back would be awkward and the server probably had a good day because of it.
Fair.
But if you tipped too little or forgot to tip, then you could go back.
How do you handle that?
You'd find your server and say, "I'm so sorry, I realized I forgot to add a tip," or "I think I calculated wrong," and then give them cash.
That's actually really nice.
Yeah, most servers would appreciate that.
Okay, let's talk about international differences because tipping culture is so different around the world.
Completely different.
So, in America, tipping is basically mandatory.
Right.
But in Japan, tipping is considered rude.
It is because good service is expected as part of the job.
So, if you try to tip in Japan, they might refuse or even be offended.
Right.
What about Europe?
It varies by country, but generally tipping is less expected because servers get paid a living wage, unlike in America.
So, in places like France or Italy, you might just round up.
Yeah, like if your bill is 48 euros, you'd leave 50, but you wouldn't calculate a percentage.
And in some countries, like Australia, tipping is optional because service charge is included in the prices.
So tipping is just for exceptional service.
Interesting.
But in America, it's a whole different system because servers depend on tips for their actual income.
Which is why Americans tip so much.
And why the percentages keep going up because cost of living increases but server base wages don't.
So, tips have to make up the difference.
Exactly.
It's a broken system.
It really is, but until it changes, we have to work within it.
Right.
Okay, let's do some practice scenarios.
Good idea.
So I'll be the server and you'll be the customer.
Ready?
Here's your check whenever you're ready.
Oh, thank you. Does that include tip?
No, the tip would be separate.
Okay, got it. Can I pay with card?
Of course, I'll be right back with the machine.
Great.
See how natural that was?
Right.
Okay, let's try another one. This time you're paying with cash.
Okay.
Here's your check.
Thanks. Here's $60.
Okay, your total was 43.
Keep the change.
Oh, thank you so much.
See how easy that was?
Super easy.
One more.
Okay, this time you're with a friend and you want to split.
Ready?
Here's your check.
Oh, can we split this?
Sure, evenly or separate checks.
Let's just split it evenly.
No problem, so that'll be $30 each.
Perfect.
See, these phrases are so useful.
They really are, and they're not complicated.
Not at all. You just need to know them and practice using them.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about some common mistakes, because there are phrases people use that sound wrong to native speakers.
Like what?
Like saying, I want to pay.
What's wrong with that?
It sounds too direct, almost aggressive.
Oh.
So instead, say, can I get the check? Or I'll take the check.
Those sound more natural.
Much more natural.
What else?
Some people say how much money instead of just how much.
The word money is unnecessary.
Exactly.
What about saying, give me?
Oh, that's too demanding.
Yeah.
Like, don't say give me the check.
Say, can I get the check? Or could I have the check?
Much more polite.
Way more polite. Okay, what about pronunciation? Because some of these words are tricky.
Like receipt?
How do you say it?
Receipt, not recipe.
Right. Recipe is for cooking.
And receipt is what you get after paying.
Exactly.
What about gratuity?
Gratuity.
4 syllables.
Some people say gratuity, and that's wrong.
It's gratuity.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about body language, because it's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
So when you're asking for the check, you might catch the server's eye and make a writing gesture like you're signing your name in the air.
That's the universal signal for I want the check, and servers recognize it immediately.
What about when paying? If you're using a card, you might hand it to them or place it in the check holder.
Right.
And if you're paying cash, you can leave it on the table with the check or hand it directly to them.
Both are fine.
Yeah, but here's something important.
What?
If you're leaving cash as a tip, don't hide it under your plate.
Why not?
Because servers might not see it and they might think you didn't tip.
Oh.
So put it on top of the check or in the check holder where it's visible.
That makes sense.
Okay, let's talk about some regional differences in America because America is huge and different regions have different customs.
Like what?
So in New York, tipping is very serious.
How serious?
People tip 20% minimum, and service is super fast because they want you in and out so they can get the next customer.
Okay.
But in the South, like Texas or Georgia, service is more relaxed.
What do you mean?
They'll chat with you, take their time, and tipping might be slightly lower, like 15 to 18%, but it's still expected.
Got it.
And on the West Coast, like California, it's somewhere in between.
Like 18 to 20%?
Yeah, and people are pretty laid back about it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We really have.
Let's summarize the key phrases.
Good idea. So we have, does that include tip for checking if gratuity is included?
Keep the change when paying cash and leaving the extra as a tip.
Can we split the bill when dividing the cost with others?
Can I get the check for asking for the bill?
Do you take credit cards, or can I pay with card for checking payment methods?
I'll get this, or this one's on me, for offering to pay.
Just Venmo me later for digital payment between friends.
Let me get my half for splitting the cost.
Is there an ATM nearby when you need cash?
And can I speak with the manager for serious service issues?
Those are the essentials.
And honestly, if you know these phrases, you'll be fine in most situations.
Right. The key is just to practice and not be afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. Like, if you're unsure, just ask. Does that include tip? How should I pay? Can we split this?
Servers are used to these questions, especially from international customers.
Right, so don't feel embarrassed.
Not at all. Okay, before we wrap up, let's go back to Mia's story.
The restaurant incident.
Right. So, what did you learn from that experience?
Well, first, always check if service charge and gratuity are the same thing by asking, does that include tip?
Perfect.
Second, read the bill carefully and look for words like service charge, gratuity, automatic tip, because all of those can mean different things.
Right.
Third, when in doubt, ask the server because they'd rather you ask than leave angry.
Absolutely.
And fourth, maybe most importantly, the tipping system in America is confusing, even for Americans.
So true.
So don't feel bad if you make a mistake. Just learn from it and do better next time.
Exactly.
So would you go back to that restaurant?
Honestly, probably not because of the awkwardness.
Fair enough.
But I did learn something valuable, which is to always ask about service charges.
Good lesson.
Expensive lesson.
How much did you end up tipping?
I didn't.
Wait, really?
I was already out the door by that point.
Oh no.
I know.
Do you feel guilty?
A little.
The American tip guilt.
It follows you everywhere.
All right, everyone, that's our episode for today.
We covered American tipping culture, all the payment phrases you need, and hopefully you feel more confident about handling payments in English.
Remember to practice these phrases and use them in real situations.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes because that's how you learn.
Until then, practice your payment phrases.
Maybe go out to eat and try saying, "Can I get the check?" or "Keep the change."
And let us know how it goes.
Leave us a comment or send us a message.
We love hearing your stories, especially the awkward ones.
Those are the best.
All right, thanks for listening to English Tea.
I'm Leo,
I'm Mia.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.